You know, for over 3 decades, we've all known and loved this cartoon about a yellow family from a little town called Springfield. It's a classic, right? But what if it's more than just a cartoon? What if it's actually some kind of, I don't know, a crystal ball?
It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it? Could a simple cartoon of all things really be predicting our future? Well, that's the big question at the heart of so many online theories and videos that go viral. In this explainer, we're going to break down some of the most compelling claims from one of those videos, one that argues The Simpsons has this uncanny knack for showing us exactly what's coming. So let's dive in and see what's really going on.
So where does all this talk even come from? Well, for decades now, fans have been pointing out these really eerie coincidences. You'll see a scene from an old episode that, years down the line, seems to play out almost perfectly in the real world. It's really fueled this persistent, fascinating idea that maybe the show is hiding something, a kind of cartoon conspiracy. Okay, so let's start with one of the biggest areas where these so-called predictions pop up: technology. The source video we're digging into points out a couple of major examples that honestly feel way ahead of their time. First up, let's talk about automation. The theory points to this 2012 episode where Mr. Burns, this super greedy factory owner, he fires all of his human employees and replaces them with robots. And of course, the robots eventually rebel. Sound familiar? It's because this taps right into our modern fears about automation and AI taking all our jobs. And listen, this isn't just some vague, far-off fear. To put a number on it, the source we're looking at claims that AI could get rid of 10 crore. That's a staggering 100 million jobs, and that could be just in the US over the next decade. All of a sudden, a cartoon joke from 2012 doesn't seem so funny.
Okay, check out this next one. Way back in a 1994 episode, NASA decides to send an average Joe into space just to get the public interested again. Now you fast forward to today, and what do we have? We have private companies like Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin that are literally turning space tourism into a real business. The dream of an ordinary person going to space, it went from a cartoon fantasy to a commercial reality.
All right, moving on from tech, let's talk about something that hit all of us really close to home: a pandemic. This right here is probably one of the most famous examples that people point to.
This is where you can really see how an old piece of pop culture can suddenly take on a brand new, powerful meaning. The theory goes back to a 1993 episode called Margin Chains. In it, a fictional virus starts in Japan and spreads all the way to Springfield through packages in the mail. Fast forward almost 30 years, and during the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, this exact clip just exploded online as people started drawing these startling parallels.
And this timeline is just wild. It shows you the long life of this one theory. It airs in '93, it's just a funny storyline. Then, boom, 2020 hits, and it becomes this huge internet phenomenon. And now, according to the video we're looking at, people are talking about it all over again because of fears about a potential new superflu. It's the prediction that just keeps on giving.
Okay, so if you thought pandemics were serious, the next claims, well, they take things to a whole other level. Now we're getting into the really wild stuff from the source: aliens and a world at war. Okay, so take a 1997 episode where Homer Simpson is convinced he's seen an alien, and it leads to this whole FBI investigation in Springfield. A classic, goofy Homer plot. But the theory we're examining connects this episode directly to modern-day speculation that aliens could actually make contact with Earth in the year 2026. Yeah, suddenly Homer's silly encounter is being looked at as another prophetic clue.
And then, you have the most alarming claim of them all. The video suggests that several episodes, one from 1995 and another from 2005, are actually hinting at a future global conflict. These scenes are now being interpreted as pointing to a serious risk of a third world war, also in the year 2026. There's even a doomsday reference in one episode that people see as this really chilling piece of evidence. So, after going through robots, rocket ships, pandemics, even aliens, and World War, we have to ask the big question: what's the deal here? What are we supposed to make of all this? Is it actual prophecy? Is it just a mind-blowing string of coincidences? Or is there something else going on?
I mean, think about what we've covered. We've seen the show touch on AI, commercial space flight, global pandemics, and even the wild possibilities of alien contact and world-ending war. These aren't just random little jokes. These are huge themes that are already on our minds.
And this really gets to the heart of what that viral video is arguing: that maybe The Simpsons isn't predicting the future, but is instead not just entertainment, but a strange mirror showing a glimpse of the future. And honestly, this is probably the real answer, right? The writers on that show are brilliant. They're amazing satirists, and they are masters at observing our society. With over 750 episodes, they have made jokes about pretty much everything you can imagine. Statistically, some of those jokes are just bound to look like future events. They tap into our current hopes, our biggest fears, and where our politics and our technology are logically heading. So the predictions feel real because they're based on realities we're already creating.
So I'll leave you with this question. Is The Simpsons some kind of prophetic text, or is it simply the sharpest, longest-running social commentary of our lifetime? One that holds up a mirror so detailed that, eventually, we're all bound to see ourselves in it. What do you think?